Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we're going to really test out some of the newest weapons we just added to the KarateMart.com website. But before we begin, if you just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So last week I showed you guys some of the new stealthy weapons that would be perfect for nighttime use. And then I asked you to go to the community tab and vote for which one you like best. And you guys went to the community tab and chose the Black Ops Trench Knife. Great choice, guys. I love how sharp this blade is. And then when we tested out the knuckle dusters, they were just absolutely perfect. So this week I asked Amanda to go back into the warehouse and look for some of the newest weapons we recently added to the KarateMart.com website. So at the end of this video, make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which one you like best. And as always, there's links in the description of the video so you can find out more information on each of these products. So without further ado, Amanda, what is our very first item?
Here you go.
Awesome, awesome, thank you. Let's see what this guy is. Oh, cool, cool. This one's got a good story too. All right, and our very first weapon is the Master Bushcraft Machete. Awesome, awesome. You know, I actually have a really funny story about this one. About 2 weeks ago was my 44th birthday, and one of my buddies, whose name is James Harrington, who is actually someone that joins us in the live feed in the mornings, sent me a brand new knife for my birthday, and I opened it up and I just fell in love with this thing, so I decided it was a good knife to actually start carrying on KarateMart.com. So for those of you who don't know, Gil Hibben actually made this knife, and he is a very popular knife maker who's known for making some incredible knives for some very popular movies. But let's take a closer look at this specific knife. So first off, it's got this really nice heavy-duty nylon sheath, and then it's got a belt loop on there so we can hang it from the side of our body if we want to. But I want to see the blade itself, so let's go ahead and open that up and check out the blade. Oh yeah. So first off, let's look at the blade. So we can see that the blade has this interesting textured pattern on it, which I think is just such a unique feature that you don't see on many knives at all. The blade is made from a 1075 high carbon steel, which is known for being a very tough steel and is also very easy to sharpen. And the blade itself is extremely sharp, and so is the tip. And another unique feature of this knife is that it's got a very prominent choil here too. So if we want to get a little more control of the blade of the knife, we can just stick our finger in the choil, and then we've got this really nice thumb rise here too. So we can use the knife really well for utility purposes, like taking the bark off the branch of a tree or using it for whittling. Let's try it at a couple different grips though. So in forward grip, it's extremely comfortable because we've got this handguard here that's made out of stainless steel, and then we've got this wooden handle here that actually has these really nice walnut scales. Now if we throw it into reverse grip, it's actually extremely comfortable as well because look at the ergonomics of this handle. It just fits my hand perfectly. Now we can also see that the blade goes full tang all the way through the handle, and then the scales are held on by these really nice brass pins. Now the only other thing I'm noticing about this knife is that we have a lanyard hole in the pommel, so we could add a wrist strap if we wanted to. Now the overall length is approximately 17 inches, and the blade length is approximately 11.5 inches, and the total weight is approximately 1 pound, 7.2 ounces. But I actually want to test this out. I want to see how well this thing holds up against the Wing Chun dummy. So let's just start by chopping at it a little bit. I mean, it's holding up really well. I mean, if we look at the blade, you can see that there's no damage to the blade at all. In fact, oh yeah, it's still extremely sharp, but I want to test out this tip as well. So let's go ahead and stab at it. Oh yeah, that's going in really, really nicely. I mean, there's nothing about this knife that I don't absolutely love. And the fact that Gil Hibben actually made this makes it all the more valuable to me. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. And again, thank you, James Harrington, for sending this to me on my birthday. I really do appreciate it. All right, Amanda, what is our very next weapon?
There you go.
Awesome, awesome, thank you. All right, and our next weapon is the Black OTF Knuckle Knife. Awesome, awesome. I love OTF knives. I absolutely love OTF knives. But one thing I do need to mention is that this knife is only available on combative.com because we do not sell OTF knives on KarateMart.com. But let's just take a closer look at this. So first off, it comes with this really nice camouflage nylon case. And then it's got this belt loop on there, so we could hang it from the side of our body if we want. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of keeping my knife in a case. I'd rather have it in my pocket. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like. Oh wow, look at this. This is awesome. So you can tell that it's a trench knife because it's got this kind of brass knuckle design to it. But let's check out the blade on this thing. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. So for those of you who don't know, OTF actually stands for out the front knife, which means that this is an automatic knife that can actually eject the blade in less than 3/4 of a second. But the thing that's so cool about this specific OTF knife is that it's actually a trench knife as well. So all we have to do is put down the blade, and then we've got a brass knuckle at our disposal. And these specific knuckles are very, very comfortable. We can see that this has an aluminum frame, but it also has a really nice rubberized grip to it, so it's very comfortable in my hand. And then it's got these little spikes on the knuckles, so I think that's going to be pretty good to hit with. So when it comes to brass knuckles, there's actually a couple different ways to strike with them. Some people like to put them higher on their knuckles and actually punch with them. Some people like to put them a little bit lower on their knuckles and swipe with them. So I'm going to try putting it up on my knuckles and try striking with it as a fist first. Okay, that's actually feels really good. Yeah, that's actually not hurting my knuckles at all. Now I'm actually going to move it over and try swiping with it and see how that feels. So with these specific ones, on my hands, because of my hand size, the size of the palm grip here, it actually feels more comfortable to hold it up a little bit higher on my hand and strike with a fist. But I want to try the blade too. So the blade is made from a D2 steel. Now D2 steel is known for being very wear resistant and durable. And as you can see, this specific blade actually has a tanto tip to it. So I think this is going to be perfect for stabbing. So let's actually try stabbing with this really quick. Oh yeah. That is so nice. That actually sticks in just beautifully. Let's actually check on this blade, see how it looks. Oh yeah, no damage to that blade at all. Beautiful. Now we can also see that it's got this little glass breaker on the end, and what's great about that is we can actually use it as an additional weapon. Now we can also see that this actually has a really nice heavy-duty pocket clip on it, so we could keep it in our pocket if we wanted to. Now if we take a closer look at the finger holes on these knuckles, we can see that they're actually very large ovals. I have large hands and my hands fit in there just great, so those are going to fit any size hand. Now one of the reasons we chose to carry these specific OTF knives is because the manufacturer actually provides a limited lifetime warranty on them. Now the overall length of this when the blade is out is approximately 9 inches. When the blade is in, it's approximately 5.5 inches, and the blade length is approximately 3.5 inches. And the total weight is approximately 12.1 ounces. So that is a beautiful weight for this knife. But one thing I really need to mention is that you need to check your local laws because this is not only an OTF knife, it's also a trench knife, and it's also considered a brass knuckle. So the laws are extremely strict on this weapon. And once again, this is only available on combative.com. But I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is the next weapon you have for me today? Awesome, awesome, thank you. All right, let's see what this is. And our next weapon is the Pockete Spring Coil Baton. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's take a look at this. So first off, we can see that it comes with this nylon sheath with a belt loop on it. And it's not the most heavy-duty nylon sheath, but honestly, when it comes to batons, I typically don't like to use the sheaths. I like to keep them right in my pocket. So let's actually put away the sheath and take a look at the baton. Okay, so the thing that's so nice about this specific baton is it's small enough that it's actually going to fit nicely in my pocket. So let's go ahead and check that. Oh yeah, that fits absolutely beautifully. And it's cool too because we actually have this little pocket clip on there. So if we want, we could actually hook that on the outside of our pocket. If we needed it, we could just pull it out really quick, and there's our baton. But Here's the interesting thing about this specific baton, is you can tell that it's a spring coil baton and not a standard baton. Now the benefit of a spring coil baton over a standard baton is that when you're swinging it, you actually get more kinetic energy because of that swing, which gives you more momentum in your swing and gives you more striking force with your swing. So that is an excellent feature with these batons. Now the problem is that when you're striking, you've got to hit with this little tip right there, which actually hurts quite a bit. Just striking my hand like that almost makes my hand fall asleep. So if you're using something like this, you'd want to aim for the wrist, or you'd want to aim for the hand, which actually hurt quite a bit, or you'd want to aim for the face, the kneecap, the back of the head. I mean, there are all sorts of ways to use these things, and one of the nice things too is when you're using this type of baton, it's not going to break on you very easily. Now let's go ahead and test that out on the Wing Chun dummy just to see how well this thing holds up and how much damage it'll actually do to the Wing Chun dummy. So let's go ahead and test that out. Oh yeah, you can see that I actually put in some pretty good dings in that Wing Chun dummy, so that's pretty nice. And there are no damage to that spring at all. In fact, if we try to close it, closes up just right, opens just fine, so that's excellent. Now this is actually made entirely from steel, and they've added knurling to the handle on this for a really comfortable grip. Now we also have a glass breaker here, so we're definitely going to have to test that out as well. And then I also mentioned this pocket clip here, which I understand some people might not like that because it kind of gets in the way of your hand. So you can remove that pocket clip if you want to, just by unscrewing this cap here. I personally like it better this way. I can just fit into my pocket really nice and easily that way, have it at my disposal when I need it. There we go, glass breaker. I mean, look at those big holes I'm putting into the side of the Wing Chun dummy. That's actually very, very impressive. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Now the closed length of this is approximately 6 5/8 inches. The open length is approximately 12 inches, and the total weight is approximately 9.3 ounces. But that's about all I have to say about this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our last weapon?
Here you go.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, it's a big one. Usually the last weapon is the best one, so let's just see what this guy is. Okay, and our last weapon is the Dark Legion Spartan Sword. Awesome, awesome. Oh, wow, look at this. This is nuts. So first off, we can see this got this really nice heavy-duty nylon sheath, and then we also have some vinyl down here, which is nice because that reinforces the end so the blade tip's not going to come out. And then we've got this belt loop on here, so we could hang it from the side of our body if we wanted to. But I want to see the blade itself, so let's go ahead and open this up and check that out. Oh wow, look at that. I love Spartan swords, but this is clearly a more Hollywood version of a Spartan sword because the actual swords used by the Spartans looked very different from this. Now if you notice, you'll see that the specific Spartan sword has this straight blade here, and then this curved broad blade here, and then a very sharp tip. So that is a pretty interesting look for the blade of a sword. It actually reminds me of a very popular movie that came out roughly 15 years ago. I know you guys know what movie I'm talking about. Now the blade itself is made from a 1065 high carbon steel with a black finish to it. Now 1065 carbon steel is known for being a very tough steel with good wear resistance, and it's very easy to sharpen. If we take a closer look at the blade, we can see that we've got this very shallow double-sided fuller in it. Now that doesn't do anything to take any weight off the blade, but that actually gives it a really nice aesthetic appeal, so I like the fact that they added that to the blade. Now this handle is actually interesting because we can see that they actually designed this hook guard into it. That's not a full D guard, and it's made from a fiber-filled ABS with a rubberized grip, so it's actually extremely comfortable to hold on to. Now the overall length of this is approximately 29 3/4 inches. The blade length is approximately 23 1/4 inches, and the total weight is approximately 1 pound 15.8 ounces. Now that's a little heavy, but I think I'm going to be able to wield this really well. So let's go ahead and test that out on the Wing Chun dummy really quick. Oh man, look how far that went into the Wing Chun dummy. That is absolutely nuts. And I want to try stabbing with it because this does have a very nice sharp tip to it. Oh yeah, that's, look, I just let go, and even though that's a 2-pound sword, that actually just stuck in there very nicely. Oh my goodness, did you see that? That just took off a big chunk of that. Oh yeah, this is actually a really, really sharp sword. So let's try slicing this again really quick. I don't want to hit the ceiling, but I could probably pick up this Wing Chun dummy with how far that went. Jeez. Okay, now let's take a look at the blade and see if there's any damage to it. So clearly we've got some scuffing to the blade there. We could probably honestly clean that up with a microfiber rag, but the blade has lost no sharpness to it. The tip is still perfectly sharp, so this thing's gonna hold up for you just beautifully. But that's really all I have to say about this, but I'm very curious to see what you guys think. So make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which weapon you like best this week. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out KarateMart.com because we've got all sorts of awesome weapons on there right now. But until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.
Whoops.